Hey everybody, it's Michael Golzmane once again from clearingconnect.com with you today for another global service group clearing kind of mini event where you're going to watch this video if you choose to, and you will receive your own personal clearing as a result of that. And you will also be holding the space along with me for a facilitation of shifts in the global energy. We have done now 8 other clearings on various topics related to this particular idea of using what we can do, just you, just me, to begin to use an energy of more concentrated, focused, energetic shift, transformation, prayer, whatever you want to call it, to help hold the space for some of the really challenging problems that we are facing as a human family and that are coming to a surface even more clearly perhaps these days. And the way this works is that we are not forcing anyone to receive this clearing. It's kind of like positive thinking, positive intention. It's kind of like prayer. We wouldn't necessarily have to ask someone else, can I pray for you? Because we would understand that there is a higher power at function with that. And the person is not going to receive something that they're not ready to, or that they don't want to. So in this work, we are focusing into the collective energy, because behind all of humanity, there is an energy field. That energy field contains impressions from all of human history before. It is influencing what human beings are thinking, feeling, and processing what they're creating now. And likewise, as we speak and act in ways that are both more positive and negative, we are impressing those energies into this collective field as well. So what we're doing here is we're going directly to that field. And we're saying, let's shift something at that level. Now, I want to be careful in saying that in this work, this is not the only work that there is to do. We are not sitting back and saying, well, I did that clearing, I did that prayer, therefore I don't have anything else to do in terms of conscious action to help transform humanity. We absolutely do. This is the spiritual level of clearing is one part of the solution. It's a very important and vital part. And I'll tell you, sometimes when we take physical action only, let me put the other end of the spectrum in perspective for a second. If we only do physical action, oftentimes we're end up in a state of feeling like we're forcing. We're kind of coming against other people's ideas, and we're kind of pushing and pressing, and that may or may not have the desired effect over the long term. There is something to be said for doing that anyway, but when we can take it a step behind that and go back into consciousness, help to create the shift in consciousness, sometimes we and those on the planet who are having challenges or promoting kind of that old paradigm of separation and of division and of power over other individuals and suppression and oppression, we begin to go behind that and we begin to look at why are we as a human family and why are individuals here promoting that in the first place. And we're promoting it in the idea of spirituality, of oneness, of holistic way of looking at things. We do those kinds of things. Yes, we are choosing to do them. That's one way of looking at it, but why are we even choosing that? When choosing to harm another is ultimately an act of harm against humanity and against ourselves and against spirit. We're doing that because we're ignorant, and we're doing that because we don't really understand the truth of who we are. In other words, there are spiritual blocks underneath that. If we could begin to resolve the spiritual blocks, this would give people more opportunity, more ability for them to choose acts of greater holism, acts that when I serve and love others and look for the highest and best good for others, I am also looking for the highest and best good for myself. It's not either or. It's not I get mine and I have to take it from you. So in this clearing today, we're going to work with basically ancestral trauma. We're going to work with a lot of division programming, superiority, inferiority, needing to make one person better, another person inferior, competition programming, which can lead to tremendous amounts of victimization and injustice. So if you would like to hold that space for me, receive your clearing, and also participate in holding the space for others, please continue to watch. I'm going to begin it now. So you can open your eyes or close your eyes, whatever you prefer. might take a couple of deep breaths if you're still with me here. And I'm going to begin bringing in this energy flow. And you may begin feeling it, even though I'm doing this at a different time, in a different place than you are. I have found over 25 years of doing this work that there really is no separation in people's perception of energy wherever they may be in the world. It's instantaneous if they are sensitive to it and receptive to it. So what I'm asking to do now is surround and protect you and me and all who are watching this video. And we're asking to now begin this initial clearing of our own programming and blocks so that we can be more actively and consciously in connection with our spiritual source. We're always in connection with our spiritual source. Even the so-called most evil person on the planet is also in connection with their spiritual source. However, we might not always accept that or notice that or realize that. There might be a lot of blocks in the way of various kinds. And so in this moment, we're not getting closer to spirit or getting closer to God, as it were, because we cannot be that. We're already one with it. However, we are more consciously plugging in. That word comes through in a lot of consciousness work and spiritual work, making conscious contact. Not contact because we already have that. We're making conscious contacts. Just feel that opening of energy take place for you. Now we're going to begin to expand. We're going to ask for all of humanity to be included in this clearing. We're going to go into that field of energy without force, without struggle, without strain, without having to make someone wrong. We're simply wanting to see, we're seeing injustice. We're seeing issues that are against life, that are against wholeness, that are against our brothers and sisters. And when members of the human family are suffering, it is our job to lift that in consciousness at the very minimum, to be able to see it, to be able to hold that in consciousness, and to take action steps from that point. So we're sending this out. We're including the entirety of the collective consciousness, and we're asking here for the resolution of cultural division and ancestral trauma that is going into forming problems and challenges in the world that we currently have. It is said by some of the yogis, again, this is getting into that topic, a little bit of reincarnation here. It's said that in some of the yogis that when people die due to being killed, being with injustice in mind, being actively involved in someone has taken their life, for instance, especially in group settings, in genocides and holocausts, and all sorts of settings where people are targeted as a group, or even just individually in this world, that they end up basically going into the spiritual realms and having this tremendous amount of anger and revenge that then in their next lifetime they kind of come back, and if it's not worked with, it's not worked on being cleared or transcended, the person will come back and become a perpetrator of that particular vibration. They might be part of a radical group or a group that cannot see. They're so intent on taking revenge, even for things that seem completely irrational. So we're wanting to break that cycle here. We're going to ask to begin to break that cycle now for all beings for whom this applies. There's a sense of I need to get back at this group, or I need to get back at this person because of some unresolved trauma or karma within me or within my particular group. This could be a political group, racial group, ethnic group. This could be a religious group. This could be a social group. We're asking to work on that now. Just feel. Again, we're not saying that, well, we've done our work and so let's just get on with our day. We're saying we're helping to open the space in the spiritual realm, in the spiritual part of all of our beings within which we are connected. And this is the ultimate cause of why we think, feel, and why our bodies and lives are the way that they are, because they emerge out of this spiritual field. The spiritual field is very malleable. It means we can work with it directly in this way. We're asking to add to this, clearing the causes and principles and imbalances of injustice, victimization, superiority, inferiority, anchoring forgiveness and revealing forgiveness, compassion, and oneness beyond the story of separation, beyond the story of just an eye for an eye, beyond the story of I need to get revenge no matter what. beyond blind rage, beyond oppressing groups to make us feel superior, beyond those ego-driven causes. We're asking here, individually and collectively, for this resolution so that forgiveness, compassion, understanding can be revealed within us and within the collective. Let's feel. The energy is getting very refined. I'm just sort of moving my hands here, as you might be able to see, in order to help move and work with the energy a bit. It doesn't necessarily take long. Remember that spirit doesn't have to work through a particular time and space network or framework. It goes instantaneously, and we can just sort of revel in that energy and receive it and feel it kind of refining in us as we're able to receive it more and participate in it more. I want you to see what's happening within your own heart in this moment. Just notice what's happening. Maybe you're feeling an upliftment of compassion for yourself, an upliftment of compassion for humanity, or even being guided in this moment. I need to contact that person, or I need to read this book, or I need to join this organization that's working for justice, or I need to make a donation to an organization that's supporting that. Any act, no matter how small, is very important. Even just the watching of this video is an act of participation and co-creation of our goal here, which is a world that works for everyone. Let's continue to feel. Oh, I don't really want to end this clearing. It's feeling so good. We're asking to clear everything else within the collective field. Helping to anchor this in and clearing, a final clearing process, everything else that would obstruct, block, or anything that would attempt to recreate any false identification we're making in our negative egoic self that would try to recreate what we have cleared in this or any other clearing. We're asking to clear that now. And as we begin to end this clearing, I'm asking all of us to offer our gratitude to the collective, to ourselves, to our higher intelligence, to our angels and guides, to all the beings who have helped support us in the course of this clearing today. Thank you for being with us. We're asking you to pull all of your energies back into the spiritual realms from which you emerged, and to sort of undo this temporary container of spiritual clearing that we're working with in the course of this video. I encourage you to place your hands on your lower abdomen or on your knees and take a few deep breaths there. Even though this has been a short process, it's been a very deep process, as are really all of these videos. And so I want to make sure that you feel centered and grounded after the clearing. It's very important to do. Getting some physical movement like walking, exercise, drinking some extra water, that can be very important after a clearing. Take a few deep breaths. Beautiful. And you can open your eyes if you haven't already. Friends, thank you so much for joining me in this video. I'm really enjoying this. I'm feeling that shift take place with each video and feeling like we're building an energy here. If you haven't seen the previous videos in this series, it's right here on my YouTube channel. You can just click on the name of the channel and go ahead and find those videos. You can also click below this video, leave comments, questions, feedback if you'd like. I'm happy to respond. Or if you want more to connect with me more, click the link below to my website, clearandconnect.com. And you can see there we have weekly group clearings on a whole variety of topics, and we have more than 400 past group clearings that you can still benefit from right now by downloading them. And of course, individual work may be an option for things that are very specific to you. But feel free to be in touch, ask any questions you have. I'd love to hear from you. Till next time, friends, peace and blessings to you. Bye-bye.